I've always loved painting. At school I decided to set it aside though, because I didn't want to be in an environment where you were marked out of 10 and there was that constriction. So it became a personal pursuit in the privacy of my own home. I ended up doing a science degree after school. After that, I began a Bachelor of Art and Design at AUT. During that degree, I started painting professionally, meaning I was selling. And I thought, well, hey, why not? Why not go ahead with this as a career? Once the degree finished, I just concentrated on art full-time.
Even though I'm from New Zealand, people always ask, so where are you from? Like, what country? I mean, that never bothered me at all. But in a way, with my artwork, I could somehow maybe, bring that out to people. They could maybe understand a little bit more about me and influence it and learn about, say, my mother's background. New Zealand society in general, it is very multicultural, and it's always been, like from the beginning, really.
I'll just cut it and we'll roll it and we'll see. I mean, if it doesn't work, we'll just cut it off. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
Mike came up with this door, and that's become kind of like the backbone, the framework for everything that we're doing.
What we've decided to do is use a door as a symbol of, I guess it's a symbol of kind of hosting or, welcoming. Who has control of that door is kind of interesting. Who opens it, who's invited in, and who's letting in, and who's shutting out. It kind of references ownership.
Having worked on a marae and collaborating with a whole range of people, I can be very open to lots of different things, but I can be very staunch and say, no, this is where I stand and what I'm going to do. Take it or leave it. I wonder if that's that kind of 50s, although those are all Fords, are those? What kind of?
Through advertising, I'm used to collaborating with other people and trying to put my personal sensitivities aside, and I think you do have to park your ego a little bit. Having said that, I just want to be cognizant of not being too pushy with challenging other people's ideas.
Yeah.
At work, I have to lead quite a lot of the time. I think I'm good at collaborating, but just going to need to be sensitive to other people's ideas a bit, because I think I can be a bit insensitive after 20 years of being in advertising, where everything is criticised.
So a lot of the style here is from home. This is Iwirako style. It's square and sinuous. Whereas these guys are sinuous and very little surface decoration. But you can see how I was talking about, how it's kind of natural and golden. It's a golden era, celebrating, New Zealand at that time. It had just become a dominion, so we weren't the infant state anymore. We were actually growing up.
In terms of identity, I definitely feel like in no man's land a little bit, because I don't identify with England. Our country being the age that it is, trying to carve out a place for someone like me to stand who does identify with some of the values that Māori have, and I love this country. Yeah, and I'm not English, so yeah, I can't go back to England, unfortunately. I've got an adopted Māori sister. That was always being ever present, and my sister's quite a close age to me, Kelly, and so we kind of fought like cat and dog when we were younger. She's not full Māori, but definitely looks different to my brother and I. We were all brought up the same, but there's a difference there, I don't understand the meaning of some of the motifs that I've been using, and I realise that I'm probably up for criticism, or open criticism for that. I do think that art, if it's doing its job, probably should shake things up and stir things up, and shouldn't probably be so passive and safe. Although I've probably overstepped boundaries and used things I shouldn't have, I'm interested in the conversation, so I'm trying to learn, and that's why I'm doing it. I'm not churning these things out for tourists in order to make myself rich. I'm doing it for my spirituality and understanding and kind of a striving for a more kind of wholeness, I guess. I've got a boy, Angus, and he's 7. I'm separated from my partner, and but at the time we were living in New York, and so he was born over there. He goes to Newton Central, Kura, and is in the bilingual unit. His mum has some Māori blood, and I was quite keen for Angus to experience that and connect with the little part of that he does have in his heritage.
Oh.
Our family, like other families, began to move away from the Papakainga in search of work, in search of other ways of learning as well. Still maintained our Māoritanga. In my case, I inherited the art bug, if you like. My great-grandmother was actually a weaver, tukutuku weaver, trained by Ngata, and became part of those projects of building meeting houses up and down the Mutu. One of the things that drew me home was the whānau situation. My grandmother has Alzheimer's. So to support her and her situation, I decided to come home and to live in her house and to keep her house warm and keep it going. And that's probably been the best move I've ever made.
Collecting stuff to see if we could work it in with our canvases, our canvas format, make up our symbols for crosses.
And we might use this to hang it.
Yeah.
It's a nice big piece, but just taking it and see what we do with it.
Yeah.
Even if you're debating with another party, another side, there's always times when you have to transcend that mind battle. Set aside your swords and experience that vastness together. Because I get tired of debate. You've got to have it, but it's the sacred sound that brings in light, purifies, protects and connects with God. Universe functioning as a whole unit.
There's somewhere where it's symbolic somewhere, you know what I mean? Like people are looking and they find it.
Could be in the mouth.
Could be in the what?
Because it's the sacred sound of the universe. And that is spewing out the sound of the universe. You're like, yeah. Okay. Oh my God!
Might be nice to like hint at what might be in there, you know, like, or maybe not. I don't know. It's very clean at the moment. I guess that's what I'm saying. That bit, it would be nice to feel that it had been written on, you know, and then rolled up, or there's something in there, you know. We'll see.
For me, I've never really painted on canvas before, and so these are all actually the tauira, the samplers of experimenting from the raw canvas through to layering it up with various layers of undercoat. From the canvas to there and all the different layers of paint until we end up with the varnishing, which is this effect here. And that's been part of the journey, is actually learning about, I guess, the treasures that Pākehā have brought here, and also the treasures that we're discovering through modern technology. If it's within our whakapapa, we have every right to use it, and we are.
I glued down some frost cloth and then a bit of tissue on the top, and we just glued it all down with primal. I'm just getting the oil stick and going straight over the top and just rubbing it in and trying to make it look as tapa-like as possible. So using a bit of the old and a bit of the new, that's always good.
So I'm not purist at heart in terms of painting. I only use paint, but this is mixed media, so you're using your hands getting into it. Yeah, it's fun. Don't want to miss out on this process. My thinking is about the retention of Māori belief systems, the tikanga concepts of tapu noa and wairua, rather than as a church. So I was born into the Ratana church, and the Ratana movement is significant because of its political commitment to Māori, representation of Māori in government. So I can't help but take that on.
Fantastic. I'm really, really impressed. It is great, and not just fascinating, It's how the different culture, like the Cambodian culture, is actually entwined into the culture. You haven't got anywhere to look after the care, to look after and care for this picture. I will care it for you until you're ready in about 10 years' time to come back.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you haven't got a place to look after, I can look after it for you, and you can come back again every year.
Okay.
It'll be in a place on this planet.
Come and visit too. Yeah.
You will see it as you come in all the time. But I'm just only looking after it for the time being. I'll leave that to you. I'm going now.
Okay. All right.
Wow. What an honor, eh?
Yeah.
So we're off to Kawakawa. We run out of rivets and I need to go bird hunting, so there's quite a bit to do. There's a shopping list, and I'm hoping that we might see our friend the kahu lying on the side of the road and I'll be able to pick him up.